Hello, hi. Welcome back to my review for the Game of Thrones season 7 um, review session. I just finished actually taping, videotaping the solar eclipse that just happened outside. and It was interesting. It was a little actually overcast. I'm here in Arizona, so I didn't really get a really good non-obstruction view. It was really just a lot of clouds there, and I think it's because of the curvature of the earth of where we are here in Arizona. That's what my husband actually, that was his hypothesis. Whereas on the on the East Coast, DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, you would get a more very clear, distinct picture. And I heard on the East Coast that it's pretty much, it got really, really, really dark there. But it is what it is. So a really quick, as I really wanted to sit down and just to do a quick review, critique, analysis of how I thought the episode 6 of Game of Thrones went. And for the most part, I was very, very, very pleased, coming from a filmic point of view, cinematography, the fighting, choreography and all of that, the dragons. And speaking of dragons, we know that we had a nasty loss of Viserion. Viserion died last night, and that I will tell you the truth, that hit me really hard. That hit me really hard, and I was quite upset to see that Viserion died. I thought there were a lot of things that could have not been done, and that was one of them. Some of the decisions that the producers made for that particular show last night, and even for a few of the shows this season that has happened. I thought I was not pleased, and I did not agree with the choices that were made. Storyline wise, the plot holes that are just all over the place, the travel time, it just a lot of it just, just like it was really like not whereas I'm actually, as for last season with the Battle of the Bastards with Jon Snow and Ramsay, that episode within itself, that's my dogs. You can be quiet now, please. Hush! Du silence. That took me back to Platz. Sorry about that. That took me back to Braveheart. It was very Braveheart-esque, the way that battle scene was fought last season. Everything, it was majestic. It was high-level epicness at its best. Nothing was out of place. Everything was poetically, beautifully. The storyline, the characters, it just was. It was very filled. It was quite filled, enriched. Very rich composing of the characters, the storyline. There was no holes in the plot lines whatsoever. And I'm quite puzzled at this is the time where the creators of Game of Thrones, the producers of Game of Thrones, have decided that they're just going to let things kind of all just let it go. Let's give them some thrill, some shrill, and some entertainment. Up from season 1 all the way up to season 6, they have been very plot driven, taking really care of the continuity of the storylines, of the characters, making sure nothing actually falls down into the cracks. And even if a character has been like gone for like 2 or 3 seasons, they've made sure that just to really follow through and just to give like a hint what this character's been up to. I have no idea what's been going on for the past couple of episodes. Yes, I mean, they did. I mean, don't get me wrong. The battle, like yes, last week for episode 5 was just beautiful, phenomenal. I mean, Drogo just came out badass on top. Daenerys just. And I think from walking away from that with just the annihilation of Lannister's army, that she was on top of the world, literally. And I know what that feeling is like. Especially when giving, like, you go do, if you're any of your moms out there who do natural birth and who have had natural birth and you do it at home, there's nothing like it. I mean, you're on top of the world. And I felt like Daenerys had that, like, no one could bring her down. And I think she got a little bit cocky. And you know what? Who can blame her? Who can blame her after that, walking away from that? And then, like, just the next week, one of her kiddos gets taken out. And it was hard. It was really, really, really hard. It was really hard seeing that. And it was hard seeing that. And then the unthinkable happens. I think that could have been resolved in a better way. I don't think that, me personally, I don't think Daenerys should have taken all 3 of her dragon kiddos to the north. I think she should have just taken 2 of them and left 1 of them behind. And just so happens that Viserion, he is one of the smallest of the 3 brothers of Drogo, Rhaegal, and he's the smallest, supposedly the smallest. But then also he's one of the more merciful. He's more merciful, as George R.R. Martin, he puts it. He's more merciful, and he talks about in the book. He's the more merciful of the brothers. But then the unthinkable happens when the Night King raises him, reanimates him. And that's really hard, because you think about what's going to happen in the next season to come, in season 8, which is going to be the final of the show, and it's just, and look, I have problems with that. I don't agree with that. Yes, I understand that the HBO wants to get going with Game of Thrones. They're want to make way for other shows. I mean, for what reason, I don't know. I mean, if the phenomenal notoriety that Game of Thrones have brought to HBO, you would think they would want to hang on to them for at least 10 seasons. But, it is what it is. But what's going to happen is that next season you're going to see the King of the Dead, the Night King, riding on Viserion, and then there's going to be a lot of hard choices. There's going to be a lot of hard choices that Daenerys is going to make, and that's just going to destroy her. When she sees that happen, it's going to destroy her. It's going to put Drogo and Rhaegal in a very, very, very difficult position. So that was very hard to swallow. I thought Jon Snow fought valiantly. I thought Jorah fought valiantly. And all of the, the main characters, Tormund, I thought it was a very frightening moment there, because my husband and I both love Tormund. My husband especially, he said, he's so my favorite character, Tormund. I thought he was going to get lost last night, and he's a goner. And then Hound swooped in there and pulled him up. Hound, major props. Yeah, there were some parts that were difficult. There were some parts that I was really, really upset and pissed off at. And I'm like, and I was upset at the writers for, I felt like they were kind of hurrying things along. For this whole entire season, I think they're rushing a bit. They're rushing a little bit too much, and it's because it's ending next season. And there's nothing that can be done about it. They're doing what they can do in the time that's been given to them, and that's all that they can do. But I do think, at the same time as saying that there's some laziness on the part of the writers, just in regards to Winterfell, what's going on at Winterfell. I'm sorry, guys, but what you guys are doing at Winterfell with Sansa and Arya character, and just kind of leaving Bran completely out of this, it sucks. You guys are doing some really sucky, lazy plot building, or if any plot building at all. It makes no sense. It sucks, and I don't like it. I don't. And I think there's a lot of people who don't like it. I really don't know what Arya's playing at. I mean, yes, I'll take that back. I do know what Arya's playing at, but it's just, she's being very coarse and sinister about it, with her going on about with Sansa and trying to pull the truth out of her and she's using this from her former training, that what she learned with Bravos, with Waif, how Waif was training her, and she's just spinning it on Sansa. Like, what are you made out of? What's going on? What do you really want? And if Arya knew what Sansa has been through, and they have not had that conversation yet. They haven't spoken about that yet. Sansa has not revealed or shared all the horrific things that have happened to her. I really believe that Arya would just drop everything, said, look, and just grieve with her. And in turn said, let's see what we can do about, look, Littlefinger is not your friend. He's not my friend. He's nobody's friends. He's not friends with the Lords of the North. He does not care about anything but himself and what he can get out of it. And I know that Sansa is just, I think it pains and hurts her to bring that up, but I really think it's really important for Sansa to do that, and I don't know why she hasn't done that yet. That's one of the frustrations I have with this storyline that's going on at Winterfell. I have another frustration with why Bran is being left completely out of all of these, like, Bran, why even have him come back? Why even have him come back to Winterfell? He could have stayed at the wall. He and Mira Reed could have stayed at the wall, and they would have been fine. Why even come back to Winterfell? I mean, you would think him being a warg, and he's like doing his warging, he's translating, that he is privy to a substantial amount of truth. And yes, he's substantial to a substantial amount of truth, and it makes no sense what's going on. Yeah, I do think, like I was saying, yes, Bran is privy to substantial amount of information that would just be able just to fill in the missing parts of the jigsaw puzzle, what's been happening for the past 4 or 5 years. Because you have to, Bran, Sansa, Arya, they've been apart. This stark Sforza, they séparé, whatnot, for 4 or 5 years, and they have no clue what, a lot of them don't. Maybe except for Bran. It's been very long. They haven't seen each other since, Arya was like 10. Bran was like maybe 8 or 9, like 9. Sansa was like 11, 12. They were like children. They were basically children. And now that we are seeing them as in their late teens, maybe, very late teens, mid-teens to late teens now. And it's just, what I don't understand is that they're just not focusing. They've kind of tossed Bran to the side. he's letting, I mean, he's seen so much and he's witnessed so much. You would think that, like, what makes them, which it doesn't make any sense, is that when Sansa explains to him when they reunite with Bran, and Bran's sitting there under the tree, and Arya finds like, oh, Bran's alive, and Sansa brings him to him, and like Sansa's like, he's speaking something about like, oh, I saw you at the crossroads. And that was the part where she was getting ready to go down to King's Landing to take out Cersei, and she meets with her childhood friend there at the inn, who works there at the inn, and he actually lets her know, no, he thought like, oh, Ram's, Winterfell's not ours anymore. It's been taken over by the Boltons. It's like, oh no, you didn't hear about the Battle of the Bastards and whatnot. So supposedly, Bran was there and he saw that everything conspire, there at that point. And so Sansa lets Arya know Bran sees visions. That's what he does now for fun. Let's go back to what we're doing and see what these lords are up to, and how I'm going to like overtake and whatnot, and be like the Lady Stark here at Winterfell, and that's more important, and like just completely continue being screwed by Littlefinger, who just doesn't give a care in the world about anyone but himself. If my sibling I knew my sibling was a warg and he was seeing all these visions and whatnot, and maybe, yes, Arya doesn't know, or Sansa doesn't understand the deep subtextualness of what a warg is, what a three-eyed raven is. Maybe they don't know. They're just kind of caught up in their own troubles that they've happened in the past few years. But, again, very bad story of writing, because Bran's just sitting there like an invalid. Oh, I saw you here at the crossroads. Oh, I saw you here at your wedding underneath the tree. You look really beautiful. Oh, you can go now, Mira. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for getting me here. Broke Mira Reed's heart. Are you flipping kidding me? I mean, that's very, 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 very lazy story writing. It sucks. It just sucks. What's going on at Winterfell just completely sucks all around. And I do see what's going on, and I'm hoping that it gets resolved before it gets nasty. For Arya just gets all loopy and thinking that she has to take out Sansa, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but I just hope it's resolved by next season. It's not going to be resolved by next episode, because you took 3 episodes to build this on, and now it's just going to take another, I don't know. That really is frustrating storyline for me. Then you have the point at the end where I'm sorry, I just gotta. There was some beautiful, 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 awesome moments last night for episode 6, where Jon comes back on the horse, where after Uncle Benjen has saved him, and yes, and I'm not going to get too much into like why the heck and where the heck Benjen came from out of nowhere. Just another plot hole. Just didn't make any sense. I'm just glad he was there to save Jon Snow, and Jon Snow was able to get back to the wall, and fine. He was fine. Maybe just freezing ass cold, but he was fine. Got back to the wall. But there is a scene that's just absolutely incredibly beautiful, where he's just waking up out of bed from sleeping and whatnot, for just becoming, restored. And Daenerys is right there holding his hand, waiting for him to wake. I'm telling you guys, I remember when I was a young child, I would read these beautiful, illustrious fairy tale, like these books from Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, books about King Arthur and the Round Table and Lady Guinevere. Hearing, Romeo, you have all of these very classical, romantic, nostalgic images of this fairy tale, just this true love type of deal. And I'm telling you guys, this is one thing they are. One of the few things that they are doing right for season 7 is the setting up of this beautiful, beautiful relationship between Daenerys and Jon Snow, and it is breathtaking. That scene alone, when he's laying there in the bed, the light that's coming into the window, Daenerys is sitting there just comforting him. The dialogue that is that's going on between the two, it is beautiful. You think of Tristan and Isolde when you saw that. At least I did. Very Camelot, Lady Guinevere, King Arthur, or Lancelot for that matter. Very, very just classical, mythical, romantic setup that's going on, and they are hitting it bullseye every single episode with these two, and it's astounding. That's one of the things that the writers is doing right for this season. One of the other things is just really presenting in great majesty the ferociousness and the beauty of the dragons. Just downright is classical fantasy, what fantasy stuff is made out of. But we grew up, as kids with knights and princesses and ladies and kings and Saint George and the Dragon, all of those elements, those beautiful, those literature motifs that just really lightens up your heart, really. So, yeah, there's so much I can talk about. There's so much I would love to talk about, but I could probably leave that for like an analysis video, which would be a much longer video. But let's see what's going to go on. Yes, there's I will tell you this, I don't think the Night King's going to show up. He won't show up until season 8, which is next year. I think they have lost a lot of the whites and their walkers, that I think he has to actually go back around the mountain again and to gain more troops, because he's lost from the dragons, breathing fire and killing them. I don't think they're going to be showing up next week. I think it's going to be too early. I really think that the writers they're going to really pan it out, pace it, and they'll probably show up around maybe episode 2. I don't know. So, thank you so much. Actually, I'm feeling a little bit better after. I know in the beginning of the video I was just really downhearted about Viserion, but I actually have a theory, and I think it's like one of my hope theories. It's not like a plausible one, but there's a possibility. If you guys are How to Train Your Dragon fans. And do you remember when, the kid, this is the last How to Train Your Dragon, when he actually was cursed over to the dark side to kill, I can't forget the kid's name, his father, who died. And he didn't realize, and it sort of kind of reminds me of the setup that they're doing. And remember, he wins his dragon back to him by looking him straight in the eyes. You remember me. You remember me. I'm your dragon. I mean, you're my dragon. We're road dogs. And so yes, okay. I'm hoping that something like that is going to happen coming in the next, in the next season. Who knows? Maybe there's a particular remedy that will bring Valerius back to life. I don't know, but I'm hoping that it's going to be phenomenal. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it's going to be a very Jon Snow type of resurrection. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm hoping. Therefore, all right, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and check out all of my my other videos that are actually generally based on art tutorials, that sort of thing, etc. I'd love to have you guys around. Thank you so much. Have a great day.